There was an instance on the Upper West Side in New York when Coates recalled going to the theater with his near 5-year-old son. The theater was crowded, and when we came out, we rode a set of escalators down to the ground floor. As we came off, you were moving at the dawdling speed of a small child. A white woman pushed you and said, "Come on." There was the reaction of any parent when a stranger lays a hand on the body of his or her child. Coates expressed his feelings as this woman pulling rank over him, stating that this wouldn't happen in his old hood in
Flatbush.
Flatbush. Question: do many white people feel that we are inferior to them? Was this white woman, in fact, pulling some type of rank over him? Was Coates fully justified in his confrontational reactions to this behavior? Is it better to forgive or fight?
What you got, Venita?
You got the wrong girl again.
I don't. I mean, your opinion can never be wrong. You can never be wrong. You're entitled to it. It is yours to own. But whether I agree with it or not, whether I agree or not, I respect it. You know.
Well, the right thing to say would be, since I know that these things can happen, because there can be racism, there also can be just people just don't like children, just people that are evil, just people are cranky or having a bad day. The proper thing for me to do would to be to smile to myself, try to move my child from the situation as quickly as possible, and keep it moving. However, in the real world, I'll beat her to the ground. I've been arrested. You'd have to come down there and get me out of jail. Even knowing, and that's what's really important, even knowing that these things can happen, even knowing they will happen, it's just when someone will do something that's crazy to your child that you still, I believe in temporarily insane. That some folks don't believe that, but I believe that you can go temporarily insane when some stranger puts their hand on your child.
Yeah.
Now, I know he was trying to take, I know that he knew, and that's why he felt it was a little scary for him, because he felt as though that he was risking his child's life, because she could have very well turned around and said, "Oh, he's hitting me." He don't have to even touch her.
Right.
A police probably could have came and shot him right through the head and put him in jail and take him away from his son. But this is the kind of stuff we're faced with all the time. And this is why it's so hard for us. We got to keep thinking. We got to constantly be on the ball, constantly be thinking. What am I going to do? What am I risking? And at some point, like this instance, even knowing these things, you could just lose your mind, Dean.
Right.
Just lose your mind. So that would have been scary for me too. And the afterthought, I would have thought just like him. Oh my goodness, I could have, I could have risked my child. I could have risked myself. If they kill me, then my child doesn't have me. My child could have been hurt in the process, And we've all been in that position. I wouldn't say all, but I'm sure Black parent has been in that position before. At some point, you've been in that position where you just, and at the afterthought, it's like, oh man, I know these things can happen. This is not a new revelation. This stuff has happened before. So it's just hard. We have to constantly be thinking. And that's why half of us are sick physically, half of us are sick mentally. It's because we're never at rest. We're constantly on high alert. Whether you're going to your job or whether you're sitting down in a job interview to try to get a job, whether you're going down to the grocery store, whether you're walking through New York City, we're in constant alert. And it's not healthy for us. It really isn't. And then the guilt afterwards. Then you go, more stress, more alert. You just got out of high alert. Now you're in more high alert, thinking about what could have happened if you responded the wrong way. What could have happened if you didn't respond? If you didn't respond, maybe she would have turned around and popped the child and said, "Well, it's okay. He didn't say anything." Turn around and slap him in the head. So it's just, we're always faced with worried about if we made the right decision. You know, can we make a decision? Should we walk away? Should we fight? Should we lay down? Should we get up? It's a lot, Dean. It's a lot. It's a lot. How do you feel about that, Michelle?
Oh, well, you know, New Yorkers are so rude. When I was thinking about when I first moved here, I got in the habit of, I was kind of walking down the street like this, like I was, you know, playing football with people, because I was trying to just not get knocked down. Because people walk past you, they're like, boom!
Yeah, that's true.
And then I was telling Leah about it, and she taught me how you have to kind of turn as you're walking down the street, because my arms were hurting.
Michelle, don't make me laugh, please. I can't do it. I can't do it.
But no, people here are really, really, really rude, and they do act like they just don't see you. You know, and they will knock you around and push you out of the way, and you know, like they're gonna walk right through you.
Yeah.
And so when I read that passage, it reminded me of, you know, when I first moved to New York, and I've been in and out of New York, you know, most of my life, but I wasn't here so much, like living here, you know, and so when I read that passage, it made me think about, well, Coates was relatively new to New York when that happened.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, if he had really realized that New Yorkers are just
jerks
rude people, it might have helped him kind of keep his cool. But I certainly understand the way that he reacted. I'm sure I would have done something similar if that had happened to my son. And again, to relate it to the teenager in Spring Valley. You know, imagine if that child's mother had been in the class while that cop was grabbing her like that.
Girl, I'd have been attached to correctional, serving 20 to life.
Right. Or, you know, or as my friend Toby Sanders said, the teacher should be under arrest.
And I agree with him 100%.
Because he should have intervened in that situation.
And looking like he's looking at a movie. I couldn't even believe that. And I don't want to think about, oh, well, you know, sometimes things happen and people go into shock. He probably came from a hood. This ain't new to him. He wasn't no shock.
Yeah.
He down in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he in South Carolina.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I think, you know, I don't know. All I could do was really relate to Coates because, you know, his point was that he was ashamed because he forgot to pay attention to the rules.
Right.
And, you know, he knows that black people pay a much higher penalty for reacting normally to situations. And he wished that he had been able to control his temper in that situation. But sometimes, you know, as he's saying to his son, sometimes you make mistakes and you just make mistakes. You know, and hopefully, you know, as in this case, hopefully you don't have to pay the ultimate price for making a mistake. But, you know, but then when that white man stepped up to defend her, you know, that would have really sent me over the edge.
That's what I'm saying. And then they gang up on you. They gang up on you. And that's why I know that even knowing that I could have put myself in danger, my child in danger, because we're always in danger, we might have just been in danger. I probably would have reacted like, you know, you touch even me. I could walk away from somebody doing it to me. If somebody pushed me, to be honest with you, I'll be like, shh, whatever. No, but when you put your hands on my child,
that's a different story.
I wouldn't be able to contain myself. I can honestly say that I would not have been able to contain myself. So I probably have to talk to my child, as he did later,
Yeah.
and let them know that, this is not what I ideally how I should have handled it. However, there are times when it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination. I think that he didn't recognize that New Yorkers are rude because he just got there.
Mhm.
And he had a point that white people feel like they can pull rank on us whenever they so choose to.
Right.
He was right in a sense. No, wait, hold on. He was right. White people have felt that they can do no wrong in the face of the world, in the face of America. They don't acknowledge what they do to us as wrong. They do it because they don't think that it's wrong.
Mhm.
They think that it's the right thing to do, or it's an accepted practice.
Or as the point that he's making in this chapter,
Yes.
that it's their heritage, it's the right that
Their tradition.
right, that the part where he talks about rich and poor white people are united in their right to deal with the black body any way they so choose.
I don't know if all poor bodies feel that way.
Well,
I
no,
don't know that.
I'm
I don't
sure
know.
they
That's an
don't.
all-inclusive statement that I don't necessarily fully agree with, because I have white friends
Yeah.
and I have white family, and I don't know that they necessarily feel the right to take my body when they so choose. And I know that a lot of people have friends of other races that don't feel like they have the right to take their body when they so choose. So I don't know that white people and rich people are necessarily united in this belief that they can do this to us, but definitely some are.
Right.
I don't necessarily feel the all-inclusiveness of this statement,
Right.
but I kind of feel like she was in a traditional sense of not even acknowledging it, pulling some type of rank on him. You can do things out of like route memory and not even be cognizant of the fact that you're doing it. Like if you just expect black people to move out of your way when you're walking, even a baby, if you don't have the compassion to be an adult when a baby is in front of you, to see that this person is not yet capable of decision making, to know that he is in your way, because kids will be in your way. My son is always under my foot, but I don't yell at him and pull rank on him. If I see another child on the street of another race, I don't feel that. First, I acknowledge this is a child. He's a child. He is unaware of his role in society. He doesn't know anything yet. It is my responsibility to at least be understanding of him, of his age, of his place.
Right. Like I thought that passage where Coates was talking about how he felt when he took his son to the preschool,
Right.
and and his son was open with everybody, and he realized that in a sense he wanted to stop his son. He wanted to stop his joy
But
in order to keep him safe.
before that, he said he was jealous of that.
Yeah.
He said he was jealous of his son's ability to be just a kid,
Yeah.
to not see any color or any difference
Right.
in these people. But then he realized that later in life, he would have to prepare him for the fact that there was difference in the minds of these people versus him.
Right, but not at 5 years old.
Not at 5 years old. He was initially very jealous because I don't think he's ever had a time where he wasn't cognizant of race
Right.
and difference.
Well, if I may say, unfortunately, when Aaron was a little boy and he was probably about 6 years old, 7 years old, we lived in a town called Simsbury. And Simsbury, I would be more than to say it was predominantly white. There was only 2 black families in this town. There were a lot of people that thought they were elite, the doctors, the lawyers,
Right.
whatever. Like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And he went to a school, and the ratio at that school was 99. Repeat, 99-1. Yes. Me being a young person, we moved to the town, my husband and I, because we thought, well, the school system was very good, so they say.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetically, it was beautiful. We could afford to live there, so why not?
Right.
Moved there. Aaron was very quiet. Came home. He's more of a quiet child. And I was, I know my children very well. And I'm saying, well, he got a little different. Even his quietness, I knew that there was something going on. He didn't want to have dinner. He seemed a little stressed. He's a quiet stress. I could see it in his face and in his body.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him a few times. I said, well, okay, we're going to, get ready for bed. And the next morning, he didn't want breakfast. I'm like, there's something really bad going on. So Carl and I, we just, kept, you need to tell us, what's going on, honey. What's, you're not eating. You don't look like you're happy. Finally, he told me he was walking behind these little children. And mind you, I would pick them up every day from school. And the little kids said that black people were dirty and stupid.
Mm.
So no, a lot of times encounters happen when they're very young. Remind you, he was in school 99-1.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little brown in the system. Must have been about a year later when a little Indian boy moved to town.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It was hard for us. I don't even remember what we said at that point. I know what I did. Of course, I went to the school and I told them that we need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
This is not okay. When you have little people 6 and 7 years old saying these things, they are hearing that from home. They're hearing it from aunts, they're hearing it from uncles, and they might be hearing it here. As far as I know. So it depends on what the situation is, but sometimes, unfortunately, it happened to him. And, mind you, we did move because it wasn't a healthy situation anyway. Very unhealthy when it's 99-1.
Right.
And I mean 1. So that was a very bad experience. But we did have to explain to Aaron that some people were not nice people. And these children probably are very nice children, but they're probably around or been exposed, maybe parents, friends, even strangers that weren't very nice. So they heard someone say these things, and they probably don't even know what they mean.
Right.
And they repeated these things. And I don't think that they understood how much it hurt your feelings to say that.
Right. How could
So when I addressed the school, and the school addressed the issue, they didn't have a choice because I was not going to go away. I wasn't angry because I can't get angry at 6 and 7 and 8 year olds.
You can only get mad at the parents who are spreading the message.
I can't get angry at all. At that point, it's like this is a teaching moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I felt sad because Aaron was sad, but I wasn't angry. I can't say I was really angry. I was just sad that these children were exposed to those things, which is where they got it from. Remember, they're not 17, 18. They're 6 and 7 and 8 year olds.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to have Aaron, have ill feelings or think that the world was an angry and an ugly place. Everybody's not angry. Everybody's not ugly.
No.
So it's really a touch and go situation, but you address those problems, those situations as age appropriate, if, or should I say, when they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Coates, Coates talks about, he could have tried to use the situation with the white woman as a teachable moment. But it's likely that her reaction would have been, I'm not a racist, and then he goes on to discuss the deep denial that America is in you know, around. I love the part where he says, you know, I guess that an American has never seen a racist. You know, they get the image of a gargon or, you know, a troll or something.
Right.
Yeah.
They're unfamiliar with what a racist really is.
Yeah.
They're unfamiliar that racist can be ugly or racist can be very nice. The racist can be a very nice person, and they will never promote you based on your color.
Right.
Well,
They can be a very nice person that smiles at you, and will not give you any rights.
Right.
Well,
Never invite you to
A
dinner.
racist can be a politician. A racist can smile at the camera and tell you how much we love our voters when it's voting season, and then take away your health care with a smile.
but that's not racist. That's crazy. That's as crazy as hell, Dean.
They can take away your health care.
That's as
They
crazy
can
as
take away your right to vote with a smile.
hell.
Stop doing that. You're scaring me.
Vote for me.
Yeah.
Vote for me. You know?
Well,
Sometimes racists can be so, and it's deceptive. People have a misconstrued view of what racism is. People who say they're not racist may not understand what racism is
Right.
at its core.
Right.
Racism is the tradition that it's the tradition that you're displaying in your actions. It's the tradition. It's everything that you do subconsciously or consciously that alienates you from groups of people who you feel like you are superior to. It's a wide issue.